with Dr. Kaz. Welcome to another Healthy Dog Eats. What we're going to be making today, I know, tell them what we're going to be making. We're going to be making a cancer-fighting chicken veggie bowl, which is awesome. Okay, you sit there, I'm going to talk to them. This is something we are going to pack with vitamin C. As we talked about last week, as far as whether you're a raw cooker or you're a person that just does kibble or somebody that's already doing some home cooking, what we want you to do is change a little bit of how your dog eats, because the key to fighting cancer with our dogs and a lot of with our allergies is variety. That is huge for our dogs. We've got to add some variety into this. So even if you can only do this once a week, that's great. That's very, very fine. We're going to be concentrating with our red pepper, our broccoli, chicken, cauliflower, parsley, Parmesan cheese. We're going to even pack some omega-3s on there for our puppies at the end with Cosmos, because he loves sardines, and that's really, really awesome. So we're just going to kind of jump right in and get started. The first thing that we're going to do, when you're doing a bowl dish, you need to kind of layer and add flavors kind of as you go, especially because we're doing things that are good for them, but yet we want it to taste good for us, because if we're going to make it, we want it to be that way as well. With dogs and with the balance, you should have about a 45% protein, maybe 10% carbohydrates, and about a 35%, 40% fat ratio. That's what fits them. And that's kind of a low carb for us too, so that's really, really good. As we said, we're using the whole foods. That's all better yet. And don't worry so much about the balancing right now, that every meal that you make or everything that you do is totally balanced for the dog, because what you're going to find is it all kind of comes out. It all kind of comes out into balancing out through the week. Not every single meal that we eat is balanced. So with no further ado, we're just going to get started again. And the first thing we're going to get going is we're going to make our oil. So we're going to use our pan. I had this on here earlier, and it was a little bit warmer. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some olive oil. And we're going to heat it up a little bit, and we're going to infuse the olive oil. So as we're working to get other things, we're going to let that kind of set for a little bit. And we're going to put in about a quarter of a cup. It's almost kind of like making a dipping oil in a way, a little bit here. And we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of oregano, basil, a little bit of garlic, and sea salt. Now, the reason that we do sea salt is that's the only salt that's good for dogs. No kosher, no iodine, none of that kind of stuff. But we still want to use it sparingly, because they don't really need it and we don't really need it. I actually don't even cook with salt a lot because you just don't really need it. But it's very, very important to flavor as you go. And we're going to put just a little bit in, a couple little turns. We're going to put a little bit of garlic powder as well. Now, garlic is fine for dogs. But you just don't want to do it in a big amount. Like, I'm going to put a little bit of minced garlic in this oil as well, but we're not going to giving that directly to them. We're probably, in fact, I may even probably take a little bit of this out, but we're going to put a little bit of that just to kind of infuse our oil. And the purpose of heating it is to get those flavors really going. Oh, one other thing I forgot. I do want to put in a little bit of fresh parsley, okay? Because then we're going to take this oil back and put just a touch more fresh parsley. What you think, Cuz? Are we doing good? All right, buddy. Let's give that just a little bit of a stir here. And our oil, just to get all those kind of all blended. You can hear it starting to sizzle. We're going to turn this down because we just want it to just heat up slightly. So now what you see over here is I have our steamer going. And it's funny because a lot of you didn't realize I didn't even actually realize, the way we cook our food also changes the nutrients in a lot of different specific things. But I didn't realize they had done an actual specific study on it, on vegetables. The best way to keep your nutrients in your broccoli is by steaming them. Microwave, roasting them, grilling them, all sorts of things. Even our chicken. Our chicken, we actually boiled our chicken, because what happens is you take out all the cancer properties and all the cancer nutrients, I should say, when you're putting it on the grill, which makes it taste so better for us, but you're using higher heat, or even baking at 350. By boiling it, you hit the 212 mark and you keep the nutrients better. So if we're going to do this for our dogs, we might as well do it where we're getting the most nutrients out of everything, because our whole thing we want to fight the cancer. So we're going to get going here with our broccoli. And basically what we're going to do, I'm going to steam them up. I'm going to put them in. We have to make sure that when we do this, that we cut them in small enough pieces for the dogs, because the dogs cannot do the cell membrane. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to steam all our florets, and then we're going to put them in our food processor. So we're going to kind of, almost like kind of rice them a little bit here, but we're going to get these in here. Cut some of these bigger chunks off at the bottom. Put all that in there. And then we're going to put our lid on, and we're going to steam this for 4 minutes. That was another research study that I found, which, I mean, I'm learning so much by all this kind of stuff that they're doing, is that there's specific times that you change the nutrient content of the product just by the amount of steaming. Like if I steam it for 1 minute, it has a certain 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minutes. 4 minutes seems to be the Whole Foods recommendation as far as what they say that we should do. So now our oil is going here a little bit bubbly. We don't want to make sure that we don't brown any of that garlic. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and we're going to put this right in our bowl. As you can see, I'm kind of leaving that garlic there in the pan because, as I said, I didn't really want to put that in with them because we're just really kind of going for flavor. We're going to kind of set that aside. And we'll put our pan. Oops, actually, we need our pan. I'm losing my mind here for a minute. So we're going to continue with that. But what we're going to do first is we're going to dice up our red pepper. Now, bell peppers are like the wonder vegetable. They do everything from every single cancer fighting to helping us sleep better to our immune system to, I mean, there was 15 different things which we've included that you can see on our weekly recipe this week of all the things that this is like a miracle drug, miracle vegetable, I should say. So once again, a lot of people just hack it off, but this is a very, very simple way to cut your pepper. You get out the inside. Now we've got a flat piece. Now very easy to be able to do, so we can dice it up. We can just cut them like this way and turn them around. And a lot of times people, now this is what a lot of people will do too as well as far as cutting. If you've got a really sharp knife, you can usually cut from either side. But if your knife is very dull, you're going to want to make sure that you cut it from the inside this way, because what happens is it's easier for it to go through and you won't ruin or break the nutrients and the cell membrane of our peppers. So we're just going to get those all up there. We're even going to use a little bit of this. Might as well use it. Get all that chopped up. And what we're going to do then is we're going to utilize that oil that we had in our pan, and we are going to get all this in there. So as we get this in here, we'll just take a little bit break and we'll be right back. So we have our diced pepper, red bell pepper going, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deglaze it with a little bit of organic bone broth. Now this stuff is super because it's much, much better than, say, stock or chicken stock, because it's got way, way less sodium. And we want to make sure that we do that because we don't want to keep adding all the sodium into the products. But this adds a ton, packs a ton of protein into it. So I'm going to just add just a little bit. And remember, like I said, what we're doing is we're building flavor. We're building flavors on every level because we don't want to add a lot of fats and a lot of other things into this. So we need to be able to have it so it all kinds of mushes together, because we boiled the chicken. There wasn't much flavor with that. Now, one thing that we did when we boiled the chicken afterwards, when it's hot is the best time to season. So we've added a little bit of oregano, a little bit of basil at that time. I didn't put any salt. So this way that kind of got flavored into that. So if we flavor every different aspect and every different level, once we put it into that bowl, it's just going to be amazing. So our broccoli is now done as well. Let this go just for a few more seconds here. Our broccoli is done, steamed up wonderfully, as you can see. I'm going to turn that off a little bit here and grab a towel, because what we're going to do, as we said, is, come on little guys there, I don't want to grab that, there we go. Oh, and we're just about out of the water as well. So we're going to grab that and we're going to put all this broccoli right into our food processor. And that's a wonderful steamer, thank you very much. Let's see if I can take that off if it's not too hot. I don't want to end up spilling this. So we're going to pop that right in. take this down. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to put some more water on here because our next thing we have to do is we have to steam our cauliflower, because you know those nice little bags that you get the rice cauliflower in? If you put the cauliflower in the microwave, it takes out all the nutrients. So we've got to get it steamed. So we're going to get that going. We're going to put our broccoli through the food processor, rice that up, let our diced peppers go for just a few more minutes, and we'll be right back. We are back. We took our broccoli and we put it in our food processor there. And as you can see, we kind of got it all pulsed up. Kind of like a little bit riced it, made it small. Once again, we have to penetrate the cell wall in order for it to digest for the dog. So we can eat the broccoli and our body digests it properly. But for them, we don't want it going in, coming out the same way it went in. So we got to make sure it's careful that way. So we're just going to leave this in here because I think we'll just use it from here. It'll be a lot easier. I don't have to do as many dishes. All right, we'll leave that food processor right there. And then we also steamed, with my broken steamer handle, our cauliflower. So as you can see, we got that all done there. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to mash this cauliflower. This cauliflower is absolutely crazy. The different properties and the different cancer-fighting things it has. It's brain food, tons of vitamin C, as we said earlier. All sorts of benefits for us, which we'll have, like I said, everything listed. I can't even remember them all right now. There was just so many different things that made this just a perfect food. But once again, as I said, you need to steam it in order to hold the most nutrients properly in it. So we're not going to be able to add butter. We're not adding, you know, all kinds of things. We're going to add just a little touch of oil for it. We also are going to add just a little, once again, we're flavoring everything. Just a little pinch of garlic powder. And lots of times what I like to do is I use the water from steaming that and I'll put that in. But I want to add this time, I'm going to do, once again, a little bit more of our bone broth. So we're going to add just a little touch of that. Kind of put that through. And back to our oregano and basil, which oregano has a bunch of cancer-fighting properties as well, but my mind is blank right now to what they were, so you'll find it on the website. I'm learning so much, and it's so hard at my age. I think, wait a minute, that's what cauliflower was. It's supposed to hit brain health, so maybe that'll help me remember some of this stuff. At my age, it's a little bit harder. So this is a wonderful tool. I love the immersion blenders because you can just get this all good. So we're going to mash this all up. I guess I am going to have to add a little bit of that liquid, and we'll be right back. So as we're mashing all this up, you can see this is actually going to be layered through our bowl and giving us tons of flavor. And you can do this in the food processor too. It's just I already used the food processor for that. I use this for all my soups and sauces, and it works very well. And this was a 16-ounce bag. So you can see it gives you a fair amount. Where, I mean, this is going to be a good job. This whole recipe has 400 calories in it. So you probably are saying, okay, well, how do I know how much that my dog eats? Well, every single dog food on the back of the bag has it listed how many calories are in a cup. So don't worry about having to figure out all these numbers and all these nutrients and all that. What you want to do is say, how much do you feed your dog a day? So for example, Cosmos eats about 5 cups. So roughly, I know the food that we feed is about 400 calories per cup. So he's on about a 2,000 calorie diet. This recipe is 400. So if I say, okay, I want to replace one of his meals, I just figure out the math and figure out how much I should do it. So say, for example, that you have a puppy that's on it, or a dog that's on an 800 calorie diet. You feed him twice a day. Well, maybe he gets kibble in the morning, and then at night you give him this veggie bowl, chicken veggie bowl. Do it a couple times a week. Everything is preventative. That's what we're going for. We're going to change the variety in their system, because what happens is that's how dogs actually get allergies. They build up an intolerance to the food. So if you're feeding that same kibble over and over every single day, all of a sudden now they're licking their paws, they're itching, they're this, and you're like, okay, what is it? And people right away, oh, my dog's allergic to this, or what is my dog allergic to? When it's not really an allergy, it's a food intolerance. because the way their system works, it builds up. So by adding this variety, what we're doing is we're changing the way that their system reacts to it. So I'm going to clean up here a little bit, and we're going to come back and we're going to build our chicken veggie bowl. And like I said, you can see how easy it was. Cosmos is getting excited for this. He keeps coming up and wanting to get the cheese. Huh, Cos? Say, I keep wanting to get the cheese. Let's stick this under here for right now. All right, well, we are ready to build our bowl. So you can see, look how much 16 ounces made. So that's got to be at least a good 2 cups. This is actually 4 servings, but we're just going to do 3 and we'll save 1. So we're going to kind of put it through. We've got 4 cups of the cooked chicken. Like we said, we boiled it, which is about 1 pound equals 2 cups. So 1 pound raw equals 2 pounds, 2 cups cooked. I can't talk right today. I know, I'm trying to tell them. It's almost time. You're almost going to get it, okay? All right, well, we're getting ready to build it. So we're going to do a little bit of flavors, as we said, and a little bit of layers. So we're just going to take a spoonful of the puree. We're going to put them at the bottom of each bowl. And remember, everything is about layering. We're going to do a little pinch of the cheese. All right. Then we're going to do our chicken, which I need to get a spoon for. And I guess I'll just use this, wipe this off a minute. All right. So we're going to put in about 1 cup of chicken per. But as I said, we're doing a little bit of layers. All right, so now we're going to go and we're going to put into, let's put a little bit of our oil there. And we're just going to build all the way up. Put it there. Put a little bit, let's put some of our diced peppers first. There's this spoon here. A little bit in each. And we are just layering up all these cancer-fighting vegetables. Put the broccoli in. Almost looks like Christmas, huh? All our summer stuff. Let's add a little bit of parsley. And you can do and substitute and add whatever you want for this because you're just building it up slowly but surely. Put a little bit more cheese. Look how awesome this looks. That one got a little extra cheese. We'll give that one to Cosmos. We'll add some more chicken. And you can see I'm not even putting the full cup in the servings here that I'm doing. I mean, look how much extra chicken I had because I had exactly 4 cups in here. So it should only have 1 left. And we'll put a little bit more peppers. And I try to put the stuff onto the chicken as much as I can because in this way those oils and the moisture from the items that we cooked are there. And we're going to add some more puree as well. Look how much food this is. I mean, this is a great lunch for you, a super lunch for the dog, and they're only 400 calories. Super, super, super healthy. We'll put some more of our stuff on, and we just keep on building all the way through. And we'll keep on building, and then we'll come back for our final taste. All right, we have our 3 bowls done. Cosmos, we're going to top it with sardines. And you can do this for your dog. If you like the sardines, put one on yours as well. It's the omegas. If you add nothing else and don't do anything else to your dog's kibble, add a sardine a couple times a week because it's huge, huge, huge for them. The research on it, like I said, we've got all this stuff documented. You can download the recipe at empoweredpups.com. We've got it on there. You can join our newsletter that we've got on there for our healthy eats and our healthy dog eats, I should say. Everything that we're learning is just amazing. Like I said, I knew this for adults or for people from being a chef, but we're learning more and more. Look at how fantastic this looks. And we are just going to actually just grate on some fresh cheese on top for everybody. And then we're going to call Miss Christina in here. So Christina, are you ready to try the chicken veggie bowl? I know Cos is ready. He's been waiting. There you go. You ready, Cosmos? We'll put sardines on yours. I just don't want to smell like sardines right now. But are you ready? Look at that. Yeah. It's Parm cheese and chicken. How can he not? How can he not? His two favorites. What do you think, Cosmos? Oh, don't forget, I wanted to remind you, join us for next week's episode because with it being Father's Day, we are going to make an Eggs Benedict. So our take on it with asparagus and a really good cheese sauce that I'm sure Cosmos is going to love. So watch us next week, guys. Thanks.